All my reviews, I've just looked at the box art and reviewed the game based on that. I might even be getting the genres wrong. But anyway, so we've got a game I did actually play once, Fortnite. Hello everybody, and welcome to... Where are we? Who am I? Francesco, who am I?
Somebody who's about to die.
Yay!
Yay!
So yeah, WCCF Tech Podcast featuring this Deathbringer and the still ageless Alessio. Like a picture, it's like a picture of bloody Dorian Gray.
The endless.
Yeah, I made a pact with the devil.
So you're the one who's keeping Kotick in place. Bastard. You absolute bastard. So, yeah. So, apologies for the coughing, everybody. I'm dying slowly. So, we got a number of different topics today. It's always the news, always the news. We never get to talk about what I want to talk about, which is, I don't know, music or something. I don't like video games. They're horrible. The last one I played was Pong. All my reviews, I've just looked at the box art and reviewed the game based on that. I might even be getting the genres wrong. But anyway, so we've got a game I did actually play once, Fortnite. That's getting changes. I did play it a few times actually. So yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me about Fortnite. What's happening with Fortnite?
Well, it is interesting because Tim Sweeney himself announced that Fortnite, as many of you probably already know, has a creative mode where people can build levels and maps, and looks like later this year it is getting the actual full Unreal Engine editor, supposedly the same that the developers use to make the game, available to the public. So, in theory, it should allow for much greater customization, and also, critically, Sweeney said that the goal is for creators to be able to monetize what they create. So in a way akin to Roblox, which is a game, again, where creators actually make based on the levels they have created. So it is interesting in that way. So, as a game, not just a game, but a platform for games at this point where creators can just come in and monetize their creations, which is, I guess, a bit like, Little Big Planet or, the latest one from Media Molecule, Dreams. But at the same time, Sony had actually promised that creators would be able to monetize, but I don't think that's happened yet. Or at least, it's still not, as easy as it sounds from what Epic is saying. So I think it's it's an interesting move and one that perhaps more games should embrace, because it is a way to generate more content and at the same time to reward creators, and it is also kind of an answer to Square Enix with their CEO, who has been saying that in order to facilitate user-generated content, you need blockchain and NFTs, but that's not really true.
Well, we know that because the industry's revolved around that for a long time.
Yeah.
Like mods, they never needed blockchain chain.
Yeah. But usually mods are free. This way, modders or creators
Well,
can
in
just
theory, Bethesda tried to change that with the yeah. Oh god, paid
yeah,
mods.
but
Yeah,
this. Well, we don't know the split that I guess Epic might still get a percentage out of these Fortnite creations, but I do think it will be mostly left into the creator's hands, which is after all consistent to what they've been doing, on the Epic Game Store, lowering the fee for developers and whatnot. So overall, I think it's a good idea potentially, and one that more games should embrace.
agreed. Yeah, 100%. Epic have always been. I as much as people love to hate them, Epic have always been quite good to the people. They could easily change once they get a big market share, but yeah, I can't argue with the actions taken. They've, as much as people love to hate them, Epic have been better than Valve for a long time at working for the community or letting the community benefit from what the community does, or just giving the community discounts.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it'll work. Fortnite's massive. Epic will get some sort of cut of the make. They'll have to get some sort of cut because it'll still be using Epic's servers. But even if Epic just take like 10%, like you imagine the amount of players that are on Fortnite, the millions upon millions, the billions they still earn from Fortnite, they're just gonna increase by hundreds of millions. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
They will be swimming in V-Bucks.
I can't blame them. Can't blame them in the slightest.
Yeah.
I haven't got much else to say about that. It just makes sense to me.
No.
And it defeats the whole blockchain bullshit.
Yeah.
Good
So
go.
next, Francesco, do you want to talk about the PlayStation Plus launch library?
Let's keep
Yeah.
let's keep the interesting topics till later. I think interesting topics till later. Let's go with another Francesco one. Death Stranding.
This is a jab. This is a jab at Death Stranding. I won't take it. More interesting, less interesting.
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to defend Hideo Kojima until the end of days.
I've got no
well,
issues
not
with.
really.
I don't care. I'm not
I
having a
know.
go. I'm not having a go at
I
Death
know.
Stranding.
I
I've
know.
never
I was
played it.
just having fun.
Never played it. I imagine from the videos I've watched and the walkthroughs that it's just as confusing to play as to watch.
Well,
it's
to
a
play,
Hideo Kojima thing. He's probably snorted
you know,
like a mountain full
maybe
of cocaine.
it's it's not that complicated to play. It's just that it can get a little boring.
I mean, yeah, you're
yeah.
It can,
basically
but it just
glorified
depends on
courier.
how you see it. It's a complicated. It's really that type of game that you say. It really depends on what you like because it's really something that's difficult to recommend to people. To be honest, it depends. If you love Kojima, you love it. But if you're just for the open world stuff, that really depends on what you like doing in the open world. Because if you like seeing sights, then it's fine. But if you like collecting stuff, fighting enemies, maybe it's not that good. At least the base version, because I haven't played the director's cut yet, and I think it has improved combat, but I haven't played it yet.
I am an
So
explorer person when it comes to open world games, so I do think I probably end up liking it.
yeah, well, and then the second, and then apparently he already said that before, I think, but the second one is coming, according to normal readers who just said that, yeah, we're doing the second one like that. So fuck NDAs. I'm going to say whatever I want, and he just confirmed that it's coming. He didn't
Well.
say much. He didn't say much more, but we knew that Kojima Production was working on multiple projects, so it was kind of. There was no doubt that they were doing something again with that universe. Now the question is, if Norman Reedus said it's just we started the second one, so we don't know if it is a direct sequel or another type of game. We know nothing of that, but
Yeah.
we just know that we're going back into that world at
But
this
you know,
point.
my question is, as someone who's only briefly played it, um, does it make sense to have a sequel without spoilers? But
It could, because as I said, they could have been resolved in the director's cut. I don't know. I haven't played it yet, but there are some things that are left hanging, so it could. And it's difficult to say without spoiling, but there are things they could be doing. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but there are things they could be doing with some of the concepts they have introduced, and they are kind of explained at the end of the game. But I think it could go deeper with that. So yeah, it can make sense, because I think it was developed to be to have multiple games, because they leave the door open for more stuff. I hope there will be less walking and a little bit more of action this time around, though.
yeah,
And maybe cutscenes a little shorter, because there's one that lasts like 45 minutes, I think.
45 minutes, really?
I don't.
I would have
You
fallen
know,
asleep by then.
there was one that I don't really remember, but I remember one that was very, very long. I just remember it was so long, it wasn't enough. I wanted to skip it at that. Not because it was uninteresting, but because it was too long. Just let me walk around a bit more. let me put some ladders somewhere, or build a road.
I mean, to be fair, that's been, I think, Kojima's trademark since Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid 2. Right?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. It's when I started that Stranding, I felt like this was more in line with Metal Gear Solid 4, which is a game I don't really like that much because of the long cutscenes. There are way too many. But as I went on with the game, I realized that it's much better. It's better balanced, but it still has those long cutscenes. The main thing is that when you start the game, you don't understand anything of what is happening, because
Yeah.
you're presented with everything from the start. This is probably a game that maybe if you play it two times, you will enjoy the first bits a little more. But the problem is that it's not that. It is enjoyable to play, but you need to be in a specific state of mind, I guess. I just want to relax, move around, kind of stuff.
You need to want to be basically, I don't know, FedEx courier.
Yeah. And this is something I always say, that you can say anything you want about Hideo Kojima, but you really can't say that he doesn't know society, because I think for the second time he actually predicted the future somewhat. The first time he did that with Metal Gear Solid 2, with the abundance of useless information on the internet.
I don't
And the
think he's
second,
done that. I think he's just watched The Postman with Kevin Costner.
well, that's true, but there were. Now it's been a long time since I played Metal Gear Solid 2, but there were some specific things he said that really you can say 10, 15 years later, that's what happened. And the same with Death Stranding, because it was released just before the pandemic, and then the couriers
So what you're saying is
became
that,
heroes.
So what you're saying is that Hideo Kojima started COVID.
No. I just said that he somehow, I think it's obvious that
So
he
Kojima
really
started
takes a look at
COVID.
society, and he really goes deep into it, because in his games he somewhat manages to not really predict the future, but
I mean, to be fair, it happened with the pandemic, but it could have very well happened just with the global war, nuclear war. It
Yeah,
would be
true.
kind of the same. So it's
Yeah, which is essentially what happens in Death Stranding. It's not really a spoiler because you can. I think they said it said in the synopsis of the game. So yeah, the world of Death Stranding is in that state because of a certain event that's more warlike than. Actually, no, it's a bit of both. It's complicated. It's Hideo Kojima. It's complicated.
So Kojima started COVID.
yeah,
Kojima.
this is the podcast title for this
Kojima
episode.
started code. Sorry, Master Kojima. Kojima Sensei. I didn't mean that. They're just taking the words out of my mouth.
No,
It
I don't
was
think we are.
I know you are.
I don't think
he
so.
will, he'll just block you on Twitter like Kamiya.
Yeah, well, that's a badge of honor for Camille. If you get blocked by. Well, people are getting blocked just because they ask him when is Bayonetta 3 releasing, and he just says blocked.
Fair enough. That's a bit soft.
Well, it's specific because it doesn't depend on him when it gets released since it's on Nintendo's.
Yeah.
So it's not really his fault.
Supposedly it's this year, right? I think they've confirmed
Yeah,
it.
they
again.
said, yeah, in the financial call, they said it's still 2022. I can see it as a. They're releasing Splatoon in September, so it has to be between October and December. I don't think it's going to come out in November because they got the new Pokemon games
Oh.
on November. Usually they release it in November, so it's. I don't think they're going to release it close to Splatoon 3.
So
Way too close.
I suppose while we're talking about things that are going to be coming out, we've got Ubisoft are now going to be not the new games, but they're going to release all their old games on PlayStation through Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah,
Which,
it's looks like they've made a deal with Sony, with PlayStation. So the PlayStation Plus launch library will include basically the new Ubisoft Plus Classic, which is a kind of library of games.
yeah,
It's 27 games when it launches, and it will grow to 50 by the end of the year. And well, to be fair, it's not really, the games they've announced aren't really new. There's stuff like the First Division or Far Cry 3 and 4. The most recent game is arguably Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
yeah.
So I guess they are just making more money, with this deal. They're giving a bunch of games to Sony for their PS Plus, the most expensive tier, and they make money in the process.
Yeah. When is the PS Plus thing coming?
Next month.
Yeah,
It's going to start late this month for, I think, in Asia, and then it's going to roll out in the West in June.
Yeah, it's actually starting Tuesday in Asia, but not in Japan. In Japan, it's June 2nd, then June 13th in Americas, and then basically end of June in Europe. So we are the last. And yes,
Why?
that includes you, Chris. You're
I
still Europe.
don't know. I just don't understand why. Just launch everything at the same fucking time.
I think it has to do with licensing, probably, for some stuff. Maybe for the third-party stuff.
I don't.
It does. It still doesn't make it still doesn't make sense, but it's the only reason I can think.
I can't imagine that because licensing should be the same everywhere when it comes to specific games.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Sony being Sony, It's Sony being dominant in the market, and they start doing stupid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah. But I was actually pretty, pleasantly surprised by the games Sony is putting on the, PlayStation Plus tiers. because there's also Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. There is also, like we said, the Death Stranding Director's Cut. And there is quite a bit of games, and also, the most recent is Returnal, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Well, quite a bit of games, and also they have added Control Ultimate Edition from third party, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's not bad, I guess. Well, it's not as good as Game Pass Ultimate, probably. But
Yeah, it's madness.
Yeah. Well, the classic games are a little disappointing, though. There isn't that much. I actually expected the contrary, like less recent titles and more classics. But it really seems like they want to go at Game Pass. That's why they going with the more recent titles and then classics over time.
So you were thinking they'd go more with the Nintendo-like approach.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. They have a lot of stuff, so they would be getting a lot of subscriptions, especially for people that don't emulate games. I was expecting something like that. Yeah, there were a lot of trademarks too in Japan for a lot of games that are not in the launch library. So I was expecting a little bit more on that front. But at the same time, if they're updating them somewhat, then it makes sense that they're not having all of them. No, they're not having a lot of games at launch if they really are improving most of them. They said select games will have improvements, but they haven't said which ones will. So.
Well, that way, the Xbox is still superior as well because with their backward compatibility enhancements, the games are actually upscaled to 4K.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Sony is still catching up to Microsoft in this area. But
Yeah, I think they're still trying. They will be trying different things and see what it works. Because even with the classics, it's mostly first party stuff. And the third party stuff doesn't really make much sense, to be honest. There isn't any real classic. I mean, yeah, Tekken 2, okay, Tekken 2, there's Tekken 3, it's a much better game. So I think they're still working out stuff. See what works, what doesn't.
Yeah. I suppose we know what they're going to put on it, though, at least, don't we? I just find it weird. I just don't think. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm going to get to play Death Stranding because that's coming to it, isn't it? So
Yeah, Director's Cut too.
I don't know. Just looking at the list, there's not a great deal there that I'm that fussed about. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. How much is it going to be again? I don't know if it's going to be worth it, especially compared to what like you say. I just think they're behind Microsoft on this one.
yeah, no, they are definitely behind. I think as usual, like the monthly payment is quite high, but if you get the annual thing, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the PlayStation Plus Extra, which is everything but the classic catalog. So it's £83.99 yearly.
Not terrible then.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
get
it's not too bad, if you consider that. Let's take a couple games like Demon Souls the remake and other PlayStation 5 stuff. If you have to buy these two games, I think it's half the price of the subscription. I mean, they're double the price of the subscription.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's actually a good price for people that haven't played a lot of these games.
I think the
think
same as everything.
it's
The
very
issue is that you
convenient.
lose them once you cancel your subscription. But yeah,
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
things.
Also, actually, the interesting thing is that since PlayStation Now is bundled with, I think, with the highest tier, right? So basically, if you what some people did early on
Yeah.
is they basically purchased 1 year of PlayStation Now subscription, which was basically the same price of the base PS Plus subscription, and that one will be converted to the highest tier, so they will pay less.
Yeah, but Sony caught on and then
Stopped
Yeah,
it.
they blocked it.
blocked this. Yeah,
They blocked
but
it, but
those that did it when they announced the new PlayStation Plus,
yeah,
they struck it big because they might have gotten like 3-4 years of
yeah,
subscription for a very low price.
they
Yeah.
even tacked, yeah. It's kind of the same thing with Game Pass. Very early on, people stacked 2 or 3 years of a subscription when there were massive discounts.
Oh yeah, and it makes sense. I can't fault people for doing that. The only issue is if you don't actually use it. But who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
it's an investment.
Yes.
Yeah, a very
Yes.
risky one, but it's an investment.
Yeah, I've invested in things like that too. Like chocolate kettles. They're a strong investment. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll end up paying for it. I pay for more subscriptions that I never use, so I might as well just keep that one. I mean,
Okay.
my PlayStation doesn't even get turned on. I think it's
Yeah.
somewhere under this pile of dust.
Well, it's the same for mine too. I haven't turned it on since last year. I don't even know if it works anymore.
I
It
mean,
should.
yeah. To be fair, I still haven't installed the VRR update, even though my TV was compatible. But I don't really have any new games to play on it with it, so uh, kind of pointless. But I guess that's the life of PC gamers
Mm,
when you play on PC.
Yeah, we're just too busy. We're just
yeah.
too busy and too important.
Uh,
Yes.
Speaking of that, there might be some some remasters or remakes from old IPs coming back from Embracer.
Oh,
Stuff like
easy.
uh, stuff like Legacy of Kain, I hope,
Yay!
and maybe Thief, Deus Ex. Well, at least the CEO of Embracer said they are looking into not just sequels but also remasters, remakes, spin-offs, and transmedia projects across the group. So that's basically they're going to utilize those IPs a lot, which makes sense because I mean they're big IPs. Honestly, like in the most recent Embracer quarterly presentation, the CEO of Saber said this is like the steal of the century for 300 million,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it makes sense because I mean you've got Tomb Raider alone, it made almost 90 million units to date. You know, with all
Well,
of the
we're
games.
going to we're going to see. It's the usual method with Embracer. We're going to see a re-release of some older titles. I mean, look at when they bought Kingdoms of Amalur. It wasn't long before they
Mm.
released a re-release of that. Kingdoms
Yeah,
of Amalur Reckoning.
At least they expanded it because they released
Oh yeah,
a new
yeah,
yes, they did
expansion.
that. Yeah, they did that. So I think we're going to end up seeing re-releases of probably the later Tomb Raider ones. I wouldn't say probably end up seeing the modern Tomb Raider trilogy just pack come out. I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised to see that.
Mm.
Um, just
yeah.
with whatever little bonuses they can give, and then yeah, Deus Ex could see just a double pack of that. Things like that. It'll be interesting
Yeah,
to see what games they actually bring, though,
yeah.
when they actually make new ones.
I mean, there could be a like TIFF remastered version as well
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
wasn't that long ago. While, of course, if you are going to do something with Legacy of Kain, that's going to have to be a remake because it's been nearly 20 years since the last Legacy of
Yeah,
Kain.
and Defiance. I mean, you can buy Defiance on Steam, but it doesn't even have controller support.
yeah.
So yeah, they really need. Well, maybe maybe the very first one it was a top-down RPG. Maybe that one could work with just a simple remaster because it still holds up well. I played it a couple of years ago again, and it still holds up well. But the 3D games, I think they need remakes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think it's just it's just a great IP that's been lying there for 2 decades. But it actually has a lot of lore because it was also created by Amy Hennig, so it has a lot of interesting background stories.
It's
And
great, really. I love it really, and it's sad that it just went away like that because it was and I still say that today it's still one of the best. I mean the 3D one. No, actually even the first one because it was almost fully voice acted. It had great voice acting, great writing. It was really. And it has a lot of potential right now, even if they want to branch out, like you said, cross media stuff.
So
If
what
they
you're
want to
saying is
branch
you
out
didn't
into
like
TV
it.
show, no, yeah, no, I hate it. No, really, I think it's one of my favorite series ever. Mostly because of the lore, because it was so deep and it was great. Really. Legacy of Kain Defiance is a great game,
Yeah.
and more people should be able to play it without having to tweak all sorts of stuff to use a controller on PC, because it's a nightmare to get it to work properly.
I mean, besides, cursed vampire stuff is always trendy. It's always,
Yeah, that as well. So
uh,
that,
yeah, like you said, it could easily be some kind of a TV show if they
yeah.
make a good game and it sells
It,
well. It's you know,
Yeah, it would work well without even requiring too much work. Well,
I'm
outside
still
of.
waiting for Gex.
They didn't mention it though. I think they don't want to go against Nintendo for platform games. They're afraid. Well, to be fair, it's not like they're making that many 3D platform games.
No,
Except for Nintendo, there aren't that many.
no, they really aren't, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they really should start releasing. Somebody should really. They need to be good platform games though. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think they'll come back. Every genre that disappears then suddenly comes back. It's the same that happened with side-scrolling fighting games like Final Fight, Double Dragon. Now there are a lot of those games being made. They're small games, to be honest, but there's been a
it's
resurgence, so to say. So
Yeah.
it's all a cycle of life.
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah.
games industry is just one
You
big
know,
vicious cycle.
I think Activision is just lying in wait to bring back Guitar Hero so they can sell their plastic musical instruments again.
Oh no.
DJ Hero.
And when they tried to make that stupid Tony Hawk one with the plastic peripheral.
Yeah, they try to do that. They're just lying in wait. They have all these plastic instruments in their warehouses they want to start selling again.
Not happening. Not happening. They killed the
Okay.
peripheral market once.
And they'll do it again.
But, well, I suppose the last topic on the subject of the cycle of the games industry. More rumours of, well, almost acquisitions I mean, we
Yeah.
know the recent rumors that EA are shopping around to be acquired, or well, actually to have a merger where Andrew Wilson wants to be the chief exec of whatever he merges with, which well, I think that's stupid because there's no way he's going to be the chief exec of Disney.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this one EA may have nearly merged with NBC Universal.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird pairing. I don't know if that made sense, honestly, but
No.
Disney, I don't know. And they're also saying Apple and Amazon. Well, maybe if they want to get into gaming seriously, like Apple
Yeah,
for the
but
first
say
time.
with the rumors here that it fell apart because of the disagreements over leadership and price. Well, every single company is going to disagree over leadership because no successful company like Disney, like Apple, like Amazon, they're not going to say, yeah, that's what we need. Andrew Wilson as the chief exec. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Especially because EA will be the vastly minor party in any of these deals.
Yeah.
That's like me going up to bloody Square Enix and saying, you know what, let's have a merger.
Me
My
and you.
computer with your company, and I will be in charge of everything.
Yeah.
They might say yes to you if you talk about NFT, metaverse. Oh yeah, okay.
The only way I'm talking to them about that is if I tell them they're all stupid cunts for trying it.
Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, if he wants to stay as CEO, then he needs to merge with something like Ubisoft at best,
Yeah.
where they're still the biggest company. But that's not happening either. So
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
is not happening. Definitely
You
not
know,
happening.
I mean, I'd be surprised though if anyone else on the board and major shareholders are okay with this stance. You know, with the CEO saying, "No deal if I'm not the new CEO." You know, it's a very weird position. And
I understand it from Wilson's perspective. He still wants to be in charge and in charge of an even bigger company, but it's like stupid. It's not happening.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Simple.
I guess he could, pretend to still be in charge of EA. That's the thing. But
I suppose, yeah, if they kept the companies separate, but that sort of defeats the whole point of the term merger, doesn't it? Yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, I mean, if they did it in the sort of Activision Blizzard sense, where Activision was one entity, Blizzard another, and King was another, each had their own chief execs, fair enough. Keep doing that. But if they want to make one major company, then ain't happening.
yeah, but I guess the underlying news here is that even the biggest third-party publishers, they're all open or looking to get bought or
After that was it. After Activision, it just sort of looked like, yeah, we're gonna have to do it. I think that's what the thing is now. Microsoft's just opened the floodgates.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Take-Two is reportedly merging with Zynga in a few days, so that's closing.
Yeah,
And
Zynga's been quite fit. Zynga's been been quite poor though for a long time now. They've been struggling, so that's not too major of a thing.
well, I mean, it's still one of the
Oh, it's
biggest
big,
mergers
yeah,
in
certainly
in
big.
the industry. Yeah,
They were like the original big one, thanks to Farmville and such as that. And then they just
yeah.
sort of like dropped off.
They're also releasing free to play online multiplayer shooter based on Star Wars, and it's coming out on mobile and Switch. So that could be successful. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, it's not slowing down, and there will be more mergers and acquisitions. It looks like. Well, unless the FTC really goes, and other regulatory, agencies really go hard on them.
Yeah,
See.
possibly. We'll see. I know from when I was at the Big Ben week, which was last week, when this goes live, this week obviously, because earlier this week when we're recording it, they were asked the simple question: "Are you looking to buy more?" And they just said yes. So even Nacon, which obviously mid-ranged at the best, and they openly own the fact that they make AA games. Yeah, they're still looking to acquire more. So be interesting to see who they end up going for. I'm getting the feeling it's not going to be Frogwares.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Since you mentioned Frogwares, it's worth noting that there is good news, and they have received a mega grant from Epic, and they are basically going to use it to move the people endangered from Ukraine, out of Ukraine, out of harm's way. And they've also announced the next game. That unfortunately it's going to be smaller than they intended. They wanted to do another open world game, but they said given all of that's happening, they have decided to do something more focused for now, while they still have the war issues going on.
Can't blame them there.
No.
And then after that, they can possibly make the Sinking City 2. Maybe the lawsuits will be done by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We'll see. I like the Sinking City. And on the note of what we like, I know you're not playing anything at the moment, Alessio, so apart from Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
So
nothing new.
We will skip you completely.
Yeah.
Francesco, are you playing anything?
I played Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. That is they were selling it as a narrative-driven role-playing game, while it's actually a narrative-driven game with role-playing game mechanics, which I think it's a better description for the game. I actually liked it a lot when it comes to the mechanics, but there were some things that they could have done better. Just the character models are horrible, really. They're almost Mass Effect Andromeda level.
Oh god, that's not good.
Yeah, the facial animations are very, very mediocre, and this is a bad thing for a game that's all about the narrative, the atmosphere.
I suppose though they had a bigger budget than, and they had a smaller. No, they had a smaller budget and a smaller studio than BioWare.
Yeah, well, this is why I didn't give too much weight to this, because they're not a big studio. So, and besides, I think the mechanics were very well done. The way it combined narrative-driven games that are very linear. They usually have just a couple of endings, couple of story paths, into something that's very, very deep. Like you have, you can customize your characters with stats. Oh, the swan! Now it's time to sing. And yeah, it is very enjoyable. I've seen some people, I've read other reviews, and they said that it's a little obtuse, that the puzzles are hard to understand, and I think it's a fair point, but I don't like hand holding, so I was happy that it was more challenging than what we're used to nowadays with this type of game.
No, that's why I played it in a preview remote preview, and it was definitely possible to go ahead while discovering all of the details. Even missing some critical
Yeah,
details.
there's a lot of unmissable stuff. But I would like to replay it again because of course, I kind of rushed it for the review, of course, but
I suppose I'll
I
have to
think-
give it a go. They gave me a copy, so
Oh.
bloody blur.
So how was the launch party? Was it good?
Yeah, good. I mean, the food was very French.
Escargot.
Oh
So-
god, I did try that.
Baguettes.
I tried escargot when I was in France.
Ugh.
I did try it. Never again. Never again.
Yeah.
I'm not that I should never. I'm English. We should never be adventurous. No, I did. I tried it. There was a lot of. To be fair, the food was nice. The only one I wouldn't try because it had charcoal in it. I'm like, I'm not eating charcoal. I am not a Victorian fireplace. Other than that, the other food I tried was really nice. The launch event, they made fake blood packs with vodka and whatever red fruit juice they could find, and God, they packed in the vodka. And they're sipping. It was sweet and strong at the same time, and they're sipping it through the blood pack, trying to figure out how to get it to work first. Bastard. And then sipping it, I'm like,
Well,
oh,
it sounds like the Bloody Mary cocktail.
oh God.
That
Yeah, so
it's very vampire.
Yeah,
What?
I was happy with that. Free drinking food, I'm not going to complain. And then I went to a cafe and tried fucking escargot.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah. Have you tried it?
I haven't, but people over here eat something like that. It's like a traditional, it's a traditional dish over here, and it's disgusting. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
know a
going
lot
to
of
say
people
that
that eat
you
them.
Europeans are all weird.
Yeah, my father used to eat them, and I was disgusted even just by the smell. Ugh.
Ah,
Yeah. I agree with Chris. It's disgusting.
How about you,
So-
Alessio? Have you had escargot?
no, I have been to Paris a few years ago, but no, I haven't had. Actually, I went to Italian restaurants, so
Oh no,
went
you've
safe.
still got to try some French food. It's like so. I tried the escargot with some of the with the group of us that were there, and then it's like I thought. Fortunately, I'd ordered my main meal, which was nice, which was lamb with provincial herbs and chips. The lamb was lovely, and the herbs with it were nice. So yeah, I can live with that. I can live with the provincial herb stuff. I may try frog's legs another day, but another time next time I'm in France. But yeah, I won't be trying snail again.
I guess this is turning into what did we eat instead of
Well, because
what-
that's because I've not played anything, so I'm just essentially saying what I've eaten instead of what I've played. We've already said just before we started, I do want to try that V Rising, so I suppose that's what I'll be playing next.
Yeah,
After I've done some previews of the games I saw at Big Ben.
yeah, it's an interesting one, and it's kind of weird because it is a survival game, but it's top down, which isn't really
Not common,
usual.
but yeah. How to Survive was the first one I remember similar to that.
It is cool because you're a vampire, so
Don't Starve as well. That was good.
if you go out, during daylight, you have to stick to the shadows, otherwise you get damaged
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, but one thing I've read that some people are angry about is that in the game you actually also build your castle as a vampire, and but apparently even in PvE servers, people can just come out and steal it if you are in a multiplayer server. So
A castle?
yeah.
How do they steal a castle? Just come in and pick it up? It's a fucking castle.
I don't know.
What did you do? Forget to lock the fucking door? Oh shit! I forgot to lock the door and someone's come and changed me locks. You're a vampire, just kick the fucking door down. Oh, Jesus wept. I'm definitely going to have to play it now, but not on multiplayer, PvP servers, because I hate people.
You have to you can steal their castles though if you play multiplayer. So you can show how much you hate them. I'm taking everything that is yours.
I think you can just host a server out of your own PC, and that way you play alone, maybe. So that's
yes, I like playing by myself, or playing with myself. One of the two. I knew that'd get.
This sounded bad. You know?
I knew that'd get a chuckle out of Francesco. I suppose that's enough, though. Yeah, I'll try V-Rising.
On that note, I think we can close out.
Yeah. Well, as always, it's fun. I will hopefully survive till the next one. So, if I'm not here next time, it's because I'm dead. I'm dead.
Don't worry, we'll fix up your pretty funeral.
Yeah.
We'll
have your image on screen nonetheless.
Just prop me up. Just get the corpse and prop me up like a scarecrow, like this. But right, on that note, we will see you all another time.
Bye.
Bye.